Transform your game with Net Return. Discover the best net on the market. It's affordable, easy to set up. You can use it at your house, in your basement, wherever you want. In the winter, you can keep your game sharp. Just on a personal note, I've used this net since I was 14 years old, and it played a huge role in me in the Maryland winters being able to keep my game sharp to become a Division I golfer. So it's a wonderful product. I use it myself. We all use it to train for a long drive and keep our game sharp. Check it out for yourself at thenetreturn.com.
Oh! I've never felt so much pressure in my life. Yeah, other than Rory in the PGA.
Guy that hits hole-in-one with 2 arms.
This is number 2 for sure. I got these 3 studs standing next to me, and they're going, you better 2-putt that.
Blocky from way downtown.
Oh!
Finally!
Thank you, Jesus.
Hey guys, what is up? We are here, beautiful California morning, here with one of easily the biggest stories of the year, Michael Block. We've been doing some filming at Royal Jabuco, his home course. It's been a ton of fun, and we're excited to really delve a little deeper into, I guess, his background, his success this year, and just overall, other things that the conversation leads to. So first off, I really want to welcome you back onto the show, and we've had a lot of fun the last 24 hours filming. So, it's been a fun time.
Yeah, I've never felt so short in my life. Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say what's really impressive to watch is like his demeanor when he plays. Like, and I've learned a lot. I'm sure all you guys have about like, what it takes to be able to stand up to that kind of pressure to play, in the PGA Championship and just kind of to not blink for 4 days straight is just really incredible for me. But like, what I want to hit on first early on, and I've known his name for at least 10 years. Like, he's been one of the best for a very long time. And one of the things I'm curious about is like, because you've played in like 3 or 4, how many PGAs?
5 PGAs and 2 U.S. Opens, yeah.
Exactly. So you played in 7 majors. And like, what do you think was different about, this? What made this different? Was there like a different feel? And like, what led to having such a different result that obviously changed the course of your life?
It's kind of similar to what I did here the last couple of days. Every time I tried to hit it even like as hard as I possibly could, I whiff it. And so I tried to be like you guys. And I tried to swing like you guys. And that's kind of reminiscent of what I used to do on the PGA Tour and in majors is I tried to be like them when I am not them. I'm a working club professional that loves running a golf club, loves teaching. And I also love to play, but I kept on trying to be someone else. And when I have finally this year in 2023 started being Michael Block, being okay with hitting at 275 in the air, being okay with my personal game, having fun with the other pros, not trying to blend in, and I'm a tour pro too, because I'm not. And that's what I used to do. I was quiet. I was, just try to just do what, everyone was doing. And now I've learned that talk to people, talk to the volunteers, talk to the fans, talk to the players. Don't be afraid of the players. I know a lot of them now, so it's been a lot easier because of that. And finally, I'm just being myself, and the game is actually starting to come out under those situations like majors and PGA Tour events.
Yeah, and I think that's so cool because I feel like a lot of the times we're afraid to be ourselves and show the world who we are. And I think everybody is individually on their own journey with that. And like, was there a period, because like obviously, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, most athletes that become hit big in their sport, it's certainly well before the time you did. And did you have periods where you were kind of like because you had to have known that you had the game to do this for a while? Because, like, I'm very familiar with your playing record. And if you guys aren't familiar, like, look up his name and look up his playing record. Like, for the last 10, 15 years, it's one of the best playing records you'll ever see for someone who isn't on the PGA Tour.
Kyle's over here going, why did it take you so long?
Yeah. No, because, like, if you look at his record, I mean, you got to be averaging, like, 68, 69 in, like, these tournaments for, like, 10 years straight. And, like, was there a period where you felt like, man, it's just, like, were you not sure it might happen? Was there, like, ever a period where you started having those doubts, and what do you think allowed you to kind of break through that period?
Well, I've been very comfortable playing against club professionals and other, mini tour players and stuff like that, and I was uncomfortable playing against the best players in the world, guys that I'd see on TV and stuff like that. And finally, I've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to play a lot of casual rounds with tour professionals over the last couple of years, and maybe the last 5 or so years, which you start to realize that, they're not Superman, and you can hang and you can beat them every once in a while. And you have to be realistic, and I've heard like Kisner say it before. I mean, why do you even go to the Farmers, right? If you hit as far as this, like, if I go to the Farmers, I'm glad to shoot even par on the South Course at Torrey Pines. But at the same time, and so, like, I've shot 75 or 74 in the past, and people are like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, dude, that course is 7,800 yards. The ball flies nowhere, and there's no roll. I'm like, that was a good score for me there. But then on the vice versa, I go to the American Express out in the desert, and you're playing La Quinta Country Club and the Nicholas Tournament and the Stadium course, you can get after it, right? And so your scores are much better. Out there, you shoot a 72, you're not happy. So I've been able to score. A lot of those things are club professional events. I'm playing from 7,000 yards. The greens are rolling 11, but then all of a sudden you go to a tour event. It's 7,800 yards. The greens are rolling to 13. They're very firm. The pins are tucked right over bunkers, so that's why you need to have much higher ball flight coming into them so you can stop it, stuff like that. So it's just the scoring average is obviously going to always be higher in a PGA Tour event than it is in a club professional event or, any other mini tour event. So the scores are definitely going to be higher, but at the same time, as long as you go out there and, like, what I've started to do is just don't be an idiot, right? Don't try to fire after these pins when you've got a 6-iron in your hand. Once you get into a wedge range, then you can, be a little more aggressive and stuff like that. So I've just started to play my game, bunt it out there, keep it in play, keep in the fairways, because if you're in the fairways in these tour events, you can score because the conditions are so good. And I always tell everybody the conditions are so good, and especially majors. The hole looks huge in a major. It really does, just because how perfect the green is, how nicely it's cut, and it's just painted just beautifully, right? I mean, the hole literally looks about 5.5 inches wide compared to when I go play sometimes at, on a casual day, it looks 3 inches wide. So it's a lot different.
Would you say there was an exact point that you had to have this mental switch from, I'm no longer going to allow myself to be just playing against your typical club pros, and I'm going to just put my mind into this competitive mode, but not trying to kill the ball? Yeah. Like, where was that? What was that moment that you had that?
A big thing happened was I missed a lot of cuts in a row on tour. My first 4 out of 8 I made on the PGA Tour, and I was like, oh, this is kind of easy, right? And then I think I missed my next 12. I missed 12 cuts in a row, and I've got this whole team of friends and family members and coworkers going to all these events, traveling, spending all this money, coming out. And a couple years ago, everybody started, including myself, started booking the flight for Saturday morning.
That's not good.
And so that's really where the mentality had gotten to. And I'm like, what are we doing? It's like, I hate wasting these people's time and money. I hate having the small amount of confidence in myself that I'm booking Saturday morning flights. That should be something where it's like, you know what, book that thing for Monday morning and do that. And that's something I'm starting to do now. So that change of mentality is huge, and like I said, just being okay and playing my game, because I know my game's good enough to make cuts. Is my good enough to win on the PGA Tour? That's hard to say, but to make cuts, absolutely. And so I've just committed to that, and I'm starting to book Mondays.
That's really incredible to hear, only because as a parent, because you have a son who is trying to get into the big leagues just like you, and I'm sure him watching you have that mental adjustment gives him something to, almost emulate, right? Because you got to show him, I have to have confidence in myself. You should have confidence in yourself. So that's really cool.
Dylan's got swagger too. He's got it.
Yeah.
He's got it here.
Yeah.
I love this voice
and
right now.
We were able to play with him yesterday. I got to play 9 holes with him, so I got to watch your kid do his thing out there. So, I mean, you guys got to keep an eye out for that.
We're watching the Ryder Cup
in
the clubhouse. He is filet mignons last night, dessert, wine, everything. First-class treatment from you. Thank you, by the way. But what was it like watching the Ryder Cup, and then they go to commercial break, and there's that face. There's that face on TV.
My big, ugly face, just close up, too, man. I'm like, oh, my gosh. Can you guys, when people try to take pictures and they're like right next to you, that's what it was like in that commercial. They brought it right to my nose. And, it is weird, though, watching the Ryder Cup. And I've been getting a lot of texts saying, wow, you're on a commercial during the Ryder Cup, which is, for me, is really cool for being a PGA professional.
Yeah. Well, what you see is what you get. I mean, we went out and played. We watched you play earlier on in the day, and then we got to play 18 holes with you. But what you see at the PGA Championship is the exact same guy you see off the course or on the course, behind the scenes. It's fun to watch, and he is. He's laid back. And we talked about it yesterday, is The fact that when you go up to a shot, you just pull the trigger really quick. It's gone. You don't stand over it for a long time, and there's a reason why you do it. Can you explain
Yeah,
why?
absolutely. It's freezing the kicker. I always, in football, they call timeout on you, right? The kicker, he's going to make that field goal, and they call timeout. Why? So he can think about it, and that's freezing the kicker. And I always said, why? I see so many golfers freeze themselves, right? There's no one calling time on you, but it seems like people are because they're over the ball for so long, and they're all the negative thoughts that are going into their head. There's only negative thoughts going in as you're standing over the golf ball. It's very hard to have a lot of positive thoughts, especially in the game of golf, because you've hit so many bad shots in your life, right? And so I think of one positive thing, commit to it, tempo. As soon as my eyes get back to the ball, it's gone. And same thing in my putting. As soon as my left hand hits the grip, it's gone. And that's just something I've been working on in practice, is just to get that. I don't want to feel fast, because if I feel fast, my tempo starts to go quick. And if I have fast tempo, then I'm dead. My swing's bad. I'll be all over the place. So just taking my time in the routine, but as soon as I'm ready to fire, it's gone.
Yeah.
You talk, yeah.
No, I was just say we filmed a really cool video, a shamble. So we would take our drives, we'd smoke it off the tee, and the best one he would play down from. And I won't spoil the score, but it was unbelievable, because I will repeat, he would play down his own ball without any extra shots, and it would be one of those things where he lipped out 5 times, and his putts looked immaculate. I mean, he could have taken it. He still took it crazy low, but I mean, it could have been ridiculous if he just had a little more luck, But it was really impressive to see, as someone who struggled with putting most of my life, and it was always the issue for me. It was cool to see how smoothly he was able to pull that trigger, and it was a very illuminating thing for me, And I this is something I really want to touch on, because our first call, when we kind of got this set up, you were at an event in Colorado, right? Yeah. And you were bringing up some names that you got to hang out with, and my question is, was there at a certain point in time after the PGA where you're or during the PGA where you're wow, my life has changed? Was it during? Was it after? Was there something that happened where you things are different now?
Yeah, I mean, the next day after the PGA, or even just when Rory is walking up to me in the locker room and knows my name, it started really kind of happening on Saturday, where everyone in the locker room, caddies, rules officials, the guys that run the locker room there, everyone all of a sudden knew my name, and everyone was coming up to me. Before that, Thursday and Friday, it's just kind of I'm just kind of cruising around underneath, and but yeah, all of a sudden everyone knew who I was, which is really weird, especially the people that I had never talked to before. Yeah. And it's really cool, and it just kind of kept on going from there. And then I started getting texts from people that are my idols of my life, and stuff like that, and it hasn't really stopped. I'm out here playing golf with with the best long drivers in the world, sitting here, you guys, doing a podcast, and just having a blast. And the offers and the things that I've gotten to do, just I think I've been in 13 or 14 states in 3 countries since May, traveling around doing what I love. So it's definitely nothing really bad. So it's been a positive, and I'm just looking forward to the future.
Well, it's the power of social media and media. You're relatable. People are this guy's the man.
Well, that's what I was going to say. How have you managed to stay so grounded after the life you've had? You've had one hell of a year, and I'm sure the contacts in your phone have changed. And I'm sure you're looking at your phone and the messages you receive from people. You're I never would have imagined to talk to you.
Right.
But meeting you in person and spending time with you as well as with your family, you're still so grounded. You're so humble. You're so just warm with everybody. So how have you kept yourself so centered in the way you are?
Well, you met my wife, Val, right?
Oh yeah. I'm sure she keeps you in check.
That's it right there. She keeps me in serious check. And then I've got my 2 boys who like to smash me on the golf course and make fun of me. And it's definitely my family. It's the family that I surround, and your friends that you surround yourself with. And I'm very lucky to have great friends. I'm very lucky to have a great family. And that's all it is. And I was raised in Iowa and St. Louis, and that's just, I think, kind of how you roll. So,
Wow.
I got to say, it's probably fairly easy for him to have a pleasant disposition when this is where he works. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from him, but this place is awesome. He gets to come out here and play golf whenever he wants, I'm sure. I mean, he's still got business to attend to, but this golf course is really cool. San Diego's weather, I guess, where are we technically? Orange County.
We're in Orange County.
The weather's awesome, so I think I would probably be a pretty nice guy if I got to do what he does too. But no, I got to. So he was my cart guy So he and I were kart buddies all day yesterday, and like Carol said, he's just awesome. So I'm thinking maybe I get to be his bodyguard potentially in
Qatar.
I don't know. We're gonna have to talk about that, but I'll do whatever he wants to do. He's my buddy. So yeah, anybody watching, if you're already a fan, trust me, just spike those levels because he is everything that you thought he would be. He's not as good of a putter as I heard because he just likes to lip everything out. But other than that, he's the man. And his son, I really, as impressed as I've been with Michael, like Dylan, his son is an absolute animal. He's 18 years old and he's going 200 plus ball speed and he's hitting it straight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's hitting it straight. So that's really, I mean, if he doesn't make it to the PGA Tour someday, then that'll be a shock. Because he has, in my opinion, all the tools and more. But do you want to talk about Dylan a little bit and what you see his future?
Dylan's he's got a lot more talent than I ever had. That's for sure. I don't know where he got it from, but I think my dad, because he's got those big shoulders, tiny little waist, and I have neither of those. So, but yeah, he's a character too, right? He's not afraid of anything. You know, I was afraid of a lot of things growing up, and his kid's not afraid of anything, right? So, and he's got this natural speed. I can't wait to see him get together with you guys today and even give him a little more
Doing some
speed.
speed train later today,
Yeah,
guys.
because I'm really excited to see what he can do, and I'm excited to see what you guys can do. I mean, honestly, if I can gain just a couple miles an hour, I'm going to be super stoked. And if you can get Dylan more speed, that's just going to be scary. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with D. You know, right now he's kind of like halfway in between the social media thing and playing golf. And I had the conversation with him not too long ago, but like, it's going to be hard to be on the PGA Tour if you're not dedicating 100% towards that. But it's really tough for him to, you know, an 18-year-old, they're on Instagram, they're on, you know.
It's a different generation, too.
Yeah, so it's a little more difficult there, but I got to give him credit. He works hard, he works out a lot, and he practices hard. So, and he's making a good living already at 18, so it's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can use social media, if you don't look at it as a distraction, if you look at it as a means to have some income, and he knows, hey, my expenses are paid, whatever expenses he may have, because he still lives at home, right?
True.
I mean, shit, I lived at home until I was like 30. I'm just kidding. I'm only 29. But no, I lived at home for a while, and I saved money, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if his expenses are low and he's already bringing in some income with endorsements and sponsorships and stuff like that, and some of that is because of his social media, then that's not a hindrance. That's actually enabling him to practice more. That's enabling him to focus more. And he's the type of kid where, like, he's got to be, if not the longest 18-year-old on the planet, one of the longest 18-year-olds on the planet. When I know that's not all the game's about, but his confidence is through the roof. I see a ceiling for Dylan Block. The ceiling could be major champion, down the line. Obviously, that's ceiling. You know, a lot of things have to happen, but I'm not just saying that because you meet kids all the time. It's like, you should see how far my buddy hits it, and it's like they're 120 club speed. It's like there's a lot of 120 club speed people, a lot. But once you start getting close to 140 club speed, there's not very many.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, to put it in perspective, I think, he was maybe 20 behind, and we're some of the best long drivers in the world. He was maybe at most 20 to 25 behind us. So, I mean,
and then
at
at
that
least
age,
two behind Kyle. There was a hole where, and I think you guys will see in one of the videos, Kyle, the longest hitter in the world, got Dylan by 2 yards. Now, there's factors that play into that, how well they hit him and stuff like that. But I don't care if you're within 2 yards of Kyle off the tee, and he's hitting driver. That's big time.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for getting him because I would have never heard the end of it.
yes, thank you. Yeah,
Those
right.
2 yards were huge.
Nah, but I mean, it's something else I want to touch on because I'm really curious. Just real quick, just a kind of a quick question. Who would you say is the most famous or the person you've enjoyed meeting the most over the last couple months, with this whirlwind that's been going on? Like, has there been anybody you've gotten to meet that you've been a fan of your entire life?
Oh, yeah.
That, like, oh, now we're buds now, or stuff like that?
I mean, I don't know about buds, but I mean, just the fact that Michael Jordan's texting me is pretty ridiculous. My idol. I'll never forget. Raising that $100. When I was in elementary, just trying so I can buy a pair of Jordans, and now I have quite a few pair of Jordans, which is kind of cool. But just to get that text, and then honestly, he texted me at the beginning of the week, right after the Sunday at the PGA, saying nice shoes. He saw it, and but then I played like crap at Colonial. I shot an 81 and then like 74, something like that in Colonial. And that Friday night, when I'm like all down and depressed, I get this really cool text again. So it wasn't just when I played well. 5 days later, when I didn't play so well, he wrote another text to me that was man, from the bottom of his heart, and made me feel like it turned my day around. So it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean that Michael Jordan is the epitome of greatness, you know, and I feel like when you have someone like that acknowledging you, let alone like saying amazing things about you, like as a sportsman, that's about as good as it gets. I mean, you're talking about like, I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that in terms of validating what you are as a golfer, an athlete, and also as a person. If you get those kinds of messages from people like that, you know, and like something else I thought would be cool to touch on. We first met in person at DJ Khaled's charity event.
That's right.
Unfortunately, I couldn't hit, and I just want to say very briefly, that was the one time I really couldn't swing, and that Miami Beach Country Club was a lineup of, it was a range, and people were there, like A-list stars. And if there was ever a time I wanted to smoke a drive, it was then. And I wanted to so bad, but it was really frustrating. But like, I don't know, like, how was that? Like, DJ Khaled had so much faith in you guys, because DJ Khaled, by the way, is a good friend of mine as well, and he's a tremendously wonderful human being. Got beautiful sons, beautiful wife, beautiful family. And his energy is amazing. And so you paired up with you, Bubba, and
the Dream.
Yeah. And you guys, I'm sure DJ dragged you guys to victory. Because he must have been,
No, because he was hitting them down the
Another one.
Oh,
down the fairway.
But how was that? Playing in that foursome, getting to hang out with DJ, and I'm sure the other guys were fun, and winning the trophy. It seemed like that had to have been such a cool moment in the celebration tent, seeing someone like DJ Khaled that excited to win and to have that moment with him.
Yeah, my son Dylan actually was like, "Do you know that DJ Khaled's following you on Instagram?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "No, he's not." And he's like, "Yeah, check it out." And I'm like, "Okay," I follow him back. And the next thing I start getting some voicemails from DJ Khaled. And he's like, I'm like, "Dude, this is crazy." And then he's like, you got the invitation, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you did. Come play in his event. And I had no idea who I was going to play with or anything like that. And then he's like, "Come down a little early. We'll play a practice round." I'm like, "Dylan, you want to go to Miami?" I'd never been there before, right? And I was so excited. So we go to Miami. Khaled flies us out there. Just the whole thing was unbelievable. The hotel, everything about it. We go play practice round with DJ Khaled. I hole out on the first hole.
Yep.
Oh my!
The man didn't.
Oh
I turn around and
gosh.
hole out. I'm like, this can't be real. It was 90-yard shot from the rough, and I just asked DJ Khaled how to play the shot because it was kind of like this funky grass from Miami, and he's like, "Oh, it just it'll just roll out," and I'm like, all right. And so I hit it 90-yard shot, full 60, and it lands right in front, and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, is that going in the hole?" And it literally rolled out just like he said, and it goes right in the middle of the cup, and I turn around, and here he is. He's coming at he's coming at me, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And then I look. And his feet are up in the air.
He's airborne.
Like this, and he's airborne at me. I'm like, "Oh, here we go."
Did you catch him?
I caught him.
Oh,
I caught him.
wow.
I caught DJ Khaled. Yes, I did. I don't. Not many people can say that.
You held him in the air a little bit too. I've seen
I
the
did.
video.
I did for at least a second.
I mean, I was.
You had that adrenaline. Running
Did
through
you?
your
Were you
veins.
at the
Oh
moment
my
being like,
gosh.
"Oh my God, this might be it for the year"?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I mean,
it happened quick, man. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so it was so cool. I mean, that was our first hole. We'd been to
must-
Miami for like a minute.
He must have thought you were a god after for that one hole,
Seriously.
thinking that happened every.
Yeah,
hole.
he was running around saying, God did. Yeah, it was cool, and we had so much fun. And then we get paired with Bubba Watson, who was awesome. He was fantastic. And then the Dream, who I didn't know, he was in my car. It was fun. And watching Bubba just smash it out there. I played with him in the Farmers, on the Saturday of the Farmers Insurance in like 2014. And he hit this like low beaten cut back then. Now he hits this thing that's just towering, right? His launch angle's way up, his spin rate's way down, and he just hits this gigantic cut and is still just bombing it out there. It was fun to watch. But to have him on the team, and the Dream could actually drive it quite well too, and it's a shamble. And then DJ Khaled's a hell of a putter. He can roll the rock, and he has so much great energy, like we were talking about. So it was one of the best days of my life.
Yeah, like because I've gotten the good fortune of playing with him a couple of times, and you were 100% correct about that. I don't know if it's his energy, his vibe. For some reason, he just makes so many 20 to 30 foot putts, and then he's going nuts. He's gonna start running around celebrating, and he's, and like I really can't speak to it enough how good of a person DJ is. And he's just amazing guy to play with, amazing energy to be around, and like he's so inspiring to talk to. And I'm sure he probably had words with you about, all this stuff that's been going on, because, he's been an A-lister for years.
He seems like that guy who, like, he puts out energy that he wants to receive, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
he just lives that life where, like, you work hard, you're kind, you like, put out good energy, and it comes back. And he seems to kind of spread that to the people that he gets in touch with, right?
He's unbelievable. And I had a lot of people say, is that really how he is? I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, that's him. And he's like that at his house when we had lunch. And, I mean, that's just him. He's always has that vibe. He's always got this great attitude. And he's all about getting after it. He basically told me during lunch, he goes, Blocky, right now, you got this vibe going. You got this vibe going. He kept on saying, he goes, you just got to keep it going. Don't just lay back and just sit there and enjoy it. Right now is the time where you got to get after it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'll listen, whatever you say, brother, and I'm in, And so it was a really cool experience, and to have that moment with him, with my son at the same time.
Yeah.
Was very, very special.
Do you think now that, because when you look back, because you've been playing golf for such a long time, do you think that all of this has happened at the right time in your life? Because you get to share it with your kids and your family, and you feel probably more mature in yourself, right? That you can handle all this that's happening.
Yeah, thank goodness. I've been here long enough. We've got this club pretty much dialed in.
Yeah.
Because if we were still in the opening process of Arroyo Chibico Golf Club.
Because you've been here since day one.
Yeah, I've been here almost 20 years. Helped open this up, which is, it's my favorite place in the world to come. So, yeah, thank goodness it is in a pretty great spot. Got great assistant golf professionals that save my butt constantly because I've been gone a lot lately. So, the staff here's been awesome. But yeah. I'm old and I now enjoy these things. A lot of times before you'd always be like, oh, this, you're always looking at the future, always looking at the future. Now I actually enjoy the moment. And that's something I started doing just this year in the tour events, especially at Oak Hill. And now in these things like going to the Khaled's event in Miami, just going to Miami with my kid and going across the bridge, and Khaled gave us his Maybach Lariat, which is like a convertible Maybach. There's 3 in the world. It's worth $1.5 million. And he said, take my driver, and you guys go have fun. And I just wanted this. My whole thing was I'm a huge Miami Vice fan. And so I wanted to go across that bridge that Tubbs and Crockett always went across with that, Into the Night song, And I'm like, oh, dude, we got to find this. And I'm like, I have no idea where that was. And the driver had no clue. And I'm like, what a bummer. This, But we went to this dinner, right, the opening dinner. And we had that car, and we're cruising back. And I'm like, man, I thought, here's a bridge. And I look out this one window. It's just nothing there, no lights, nothing. And I turn around, and there's downtown Miami. It's just lit up, going across that bridge. It's the exact. I go, you got to be kidding me. And so I get my phone out, and I video it, right? And there's Dylan in the back. His hair's flowing, and I'm like, this is crazy. And then I, tagged that song, Phil Collins song, into it, and yeah, it was a really cool moment for me. Dylan was like, "What's wrong with you, Dad?" And I'm like, "Dude, this is like a dream."
I'm having a moment.
Yeah, this is my moment right now. I'm 47 years old. Just let me enjoy.
Well, that just goes to show it's never like dreams can come true. Success can come at like any point in your life. You just have to keep going.
100%. You got to just keep the grind. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I just want to know who Michael Jordan thinks he is, texting you, like getting your number from somebody. I would respond like, who do you think you are? You lose this number, bro. No, but you know what's funny about that? Like on a serious note, it's like, think about being Michael Jordan. Anybody in the world that he wants to get someone's number, give me their number. And then I guess he's got a guy, the number guy, and here's Michael's number, and then here you go. It's like, because he knows you can imagine being Michael Jordan and texting anybody in the world you want without any prior contact, and they are elated. Just imagine being that guy. Like, that's obviously a whole nother level.
He's earned
it.
Yeah.
No, I know, but that's kind of crazy, right?
Well, just like,
I want to text Michael Block.
Yeah,
so
like,
here you go.
Think of it like this: all the stuff he has going on, he had to spend a portion of his day going out of his way after thinking to get your number, to think of that text, and then a couple weeks later, a week later, text you again with an even longer message. And like the amount of stuff that guy has going on, the fact that it was something that meant so much to Michael, that he took time out of his incredibly busy schedule to do that is like.
Well, it seems to me like Michael just smokes cigars and plays golf these days. So I don't know how busy
he's got
he
Jumpman,
really is.
he's got all that stuff.
I can't wait to smoke cigars and play golf with Mike. I'll tell you that.
But
I actually,
are you planning on playing? Have you played around with him?
I
yet?
have not, but that has definitely been talked about with us,
Yeah.
and is hopefully going to happen. But I did hear the story. Actually, he was sitting there with his PGA professional watching it.
Wow.
And I heard this from that professional, but he was sitting there with him watching the whole thing go down at Oak Hill, and he's just like, he goes, please give me his number.
It's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'll say one other thing I wanted to touch on, like, because I feel like it's a really cool perspective. I feel like a lot of people when they see, obviously you made it. Not to say you didn't make it, because I honestly think you were in I think you would probably agree if I'm wrong. Let me know. You were already living the dream. You had a job you liked. You had a wonderful family. So like you were happy with things, and I'm sure it was a great life. But like I feel like it's such a special and unique opportunity to not hit it big until you have your kids grown and you have your family fully developed where they are their own individuals, so they can also experience your come up and your rise with you. It's because a lot of times when you have athletes or anybody who's big, they have kids, they're either extremely young, too young to understand, or they don't have them until after they become big names.
Right.
So how has it been to be able to have your family have a front row seat, your kids, your wife, and your other relatives have a front row seat to all of this happening and transpiring, where they can truly be like fully aware of it happening?
Yeah, no, and that's huge. And I think that's why it did happen too, right? My life's in a very good place. And that allows me to go play more freely. I'm not worried about booking flights for 4 people on the cost of it and stuff like that, and then the hotel or the house or whatever it might be. My life's in a good spot as far as my job, friends, family, etc., which then allows my golf game to not have as much pressure on it. I'm just like long driving, right? If you're a rookie and you're living check to check, I'm sure it's a lot harder to hit that in the grid.
Oh,
right?
100%.
Now, if you're successful and you've done it and you've been making money and you're not worried about the cost as much, and that one, match versus a guy isn't gonna end your career, that's a lot of pressure. But if you're there and you've been around it, man, you can go out there and just free it up, for you guys, and just absolutely nuke it down there. Which when you're free, whether it's playing golf professionally, like trying to shoot a score, or for you guys trying to hit an absolute bomb, being free is a very great thing. And to have that family at this age now is awesome, because you guys have met Ethan, my youngest, and Dylan and Val, and it's just so cool for them to experience. And like we said earlier, I mean, they're also keeping me super grounded, because it's just, I'm still dad. I'm still the annoying husband.
It's funny, you talk about being free. I think it's one of those things where you have a breakthrough and you feel a sense of freedom, right? Whether it's financially or you feel like everything's great and this is all just a bonus. But then I think and I think Kyle, you could probably speak to this. Then all of a sudden what will happen is you'll have this free feeling, and then you get on top and it can go away, because now you have pressure. So it goes from, man, this is amazing, like I'm having more success than I thought I would, I have money, and then all of a sudden you get to a point where maybe you're the best in the world, like a Rory or a Tiger or any of those guys that have been at the top, and now they don't feel free anymore. Now they feel a pressure, because it's not just making cuts, it's winning tournaments. You know what I mean? So can you speak to that? Did you ever have a point, Kyle, where you went from nervous to free, feeling like this is great, or did you just skyrocket right to the top and you never truly had a feeling of this is just fun and I'm enjoying this? Can you talk through what your mindset's been?
So when I won in 2019, that was when I felt like, okay, I really felt free. And then I had a period of time last year or so where I felt a lot of pressure to stay at the top. But what I've realized, and I honestly think this is why you're going to be you're in such a great position to be successful, because I truly believe that you have done this just naturally. You just can't allow being the best or at the top to become your identity. It's just something that you have temporarily. It's not permanent. It's cool to have, but it shouldn't change you, because if it changes you, if being at the top becomes your identity, then you're not going to be at the top forever. Newsflash, it just doesn't happen. If you're at the top for more than a couple months or a year, that's very rare. So you can't allow it to become your identity. It has to just be something that you're happy to have when you have it, and if you lose it, you're just going to work to get it back, and that's how it was for me. And I'm sure you can let me know if I'm wrong, but I truly get the vibe from you that you're super excited this is all happening and you're enjoying it. And the reason I got that vibe is in the dinner we had last night. I got to meet your family. I got to see how you were around all the members. If we didn't know all this shit transpired, I would just think you were Michael Block, guy who runs stuff here at Head Pro and everybody likes and is a great golfer. But you really, in my opinion, have not allowed it to become your identity, all this success. And I honestly think that's why you just are able to operate from such a very relaxed perspective. So do you feel like that's a good, correct statement, where you've just, it's something you can enjoy, but it's not something you've allowed to take over who you are?
So in my daily life, yeah, I'm just enjoying it 100%. I have been feeling, and I did immediately in the Colonial and the RBC event, like the world's going to just jump on me if I don't shoot par or better, or if I don't make the cut, and that's been the tough part. Like I've got some events coming up, some PGA Tour events that I'm going to play in, and I definitely have that more pressure now than I did before, because I was just like, no one expected me to even make the cut previously. Now that everyone, like now, and that was just like in my little inner circle, not the world. Now all of a sudden the golfing world is like, oh, Block's getting, I got so many supporters. I got so many fans that are just like, oh, Block's got this, Block, and I want to do it for them. And then I really want to do it for the haters out there. I really just want to just kill it, but
You have
I know,
haters?
yeah, I know, right? And so it is what it is. I've got both, and I'm going to go play. I'm going to play as good as well as I possibly can, and the score is the score at the end of the day. Am I going to go finish, 15th in a major? Dude, I probably unlikely. I'm going to have another 15th, top 15 in a major. Can I do it in a PGA Tour event? I think I can. So who knows? It's so weird right now for me as far as what's going to happen, because I think I have about 6 events pretty much in the books right now over the next 6 months that hopefully, being realistic, I have 2 great events out of those 6. That's my goal.
It's actually kind of a nice balance too, because they're spread out enough to where you can really still focus on your life and your game. I think that's one of the hardest things probably about being on the PGA Tour. These guys who are grinding it out early in their careers, they don't have the luxury of hand picking their schedule, because they need to go and get as many FedEx Cup points as possible to keep their card, right? So it's a grind every single week. And they all of a sudden maybe lose their health or lose their routine or lose their practice schedule because they're traveling so much. 6 events in 6 months, you get to kind of still have your life, your hand picking your schedule and your practice schedule, and you're still hanging out with your family and all that stuff. So you're set up for success in that regard.
Until he wins his first event.
Well, no, but you know what though is he already talked like he said something interesting when this happened to him at the PGA Championship. He mentioned how you felt this freedom financially when it's talking about booking flights or booking hotels or this or that. You felt a freedom, but then immediately your next event you felt pressure, and that's what's so weird is like there's never a situation where everything is perfect. You're always gonna have some give and take, right? So like the better you get, the more success you have, the more people who know who you are, the more pressure you have, and you can try to block it out. Right.
But I'm sure it's also tough because you want to say yes to everything, right? Because like opportunities come at you hot, and then you're like, well, I don't want to let anyone down, but there's only one of me, but I have to make everybody happy.
Well, like
so
we held him at gunpoint to have him do this podcast with us, by the way. Yeah, you guys are probably asking, how in the hell did they get him?
But like, here's something I would say. I just want to put this out there. Like, here's the cool thing about, like, what I've, over the time we've spent filming the last day or two. And in the time we've gotten to get to know each other, since DJ Khaled's event. Here's the cool thing about this is a lot of people, when they get big and, and it's no fault of their own, it's very difficult to completely maintain the life they had before. But the cool thing is because you haven't big league people, you haven't changed who you are, the beauty of it is, even if this does over the next couple of years go away, which to be honest, I don't think it will, because I think people really love hearing you speak. You represent the people. You really do. And that's a very powerful place to be, because people see themselves in you. But like, even if this one day does all go away, the cool thing is you still have a wonderful life to look forward to. So like, if I were you, I would look at it that way, where there's no pressure. This is all bonus. You already have a great life, and this is just a dream that you're getting to live. And whatever plays out is a bonus for you,
But in the end, he is a professional golfer, and he's really, really good, and he's a world-class
it's
player.
incredible
so
to
part
watch
of him
play.
probably, I don't want to speak on your. Do you feel like this is all a bonus and you're enjoying this, or do you feel like you legitimately can be a full-time PGA Tour player?
No. I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to have the life I have. I'm not leaving Arroyo. So many people have asked me if I'm going to go to some other place or. No, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to be the head golf pro at Arroyo Chibico Golf Club. I'm going to live in the same house.
What if you had Kyle's length off the tee? Would you have that same approach?
Man.
Stay tuned, guys, by the way.
I know.
I'm not even going there. Thanks,
and what would you give up to have Kyle's length?
Man, I'm just hoping he gets me 2 miles an hour today. And he's saying he can give me like 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, if I can just get 2, that means I can fly a couple bunkers more a year
Would you give up your big toe to have Kyle?
Yes, I would. I would definitely
I'm
cut
a big
off my toe.
hypothetical guy. Would you rathers? What would you do? How much would you pay? Like, there's a price for everything. I won't get into
I'll
it,
put
but
it
I'll
this
do
way.
anything for a price.
I give him my big toe to have his short game. That's for sure. I
There
can
you
give you
go.
that right there.
Yeah.
The cool thing, though, also with Dylan is that you get to almost give him the wisdom and give him whatever tips you can and kind of watch him go through. So like it'll never be over for you because you can relive everything from a different set of eyes through your child as well.
Oh, I could put my clubs down tomorrow, forever, if Dylan somehow like went to Q school and got on the tour.
Yeah.
And I would be the happiest human being in the world. I would not have to play in another tournament in my life to go watch my son do it and help him out. Like
I have no doubts we're going to see him out there.
Yeah,
that
so
kid is passionate, passionate, and he's
once
amazing.
Again apologize for my voice, but
It's the perfect radio voice.
it's pretty hot.
Everybody's enjoying this episode.
Sultry.
Rory McIlroy's dad bet on his son to win a major.
Yeah.
And he won like what,
200K, I think, or something like that. That's pretty
Let's put
sweet,
some
right?
money on
That was
Dylan
pretty
Black to
sweet.
win a major. Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll
see.
Let's put like 10 grand on him.
Well, you'd win a lot more than 200K then, because your odds are
win
probably
millions.
incredible.
Let's go win millions.
He smashed me yesterday.
Yeah, you guys are playing for some scratch too.
Yeah.
I showed up a little early. They were playing for $1,000. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got me.
U.S. too, 1,000 U.S. But no, yeah. So I want to comment just on yesterday the modified shamble that Bobby, Kyle, and I were hitting tee shots. Michael was hitting tee shots as well, and then he was playing his own ball down from there. You guys will see what he shoot, but how effortless it was. It does make you realize, and if you factor in it just shows how valuable the length is, which is why we keep speaking on behalf of his son, because his son does have that length. If you have both, it just becomes. I think it's not so much about how low you can go with the length. I think about how easy it is to shoot good scores,
and
because
also,
you're not missing greens coming in, right? Because you have wedges. The par fives, all of a sudden you have mid irons. So now what I mean. It's really about your ball striking numbers go way through the roof, and your proximity more so than like it's not like you're necessarily going to go fire 60s and 62s. It's that if you don't shoot in the 60s, there's something really wrong if you're long and straight off the tee with this kind of. Would you agree that?
100%.
Do you think it's more about your low rounds to get lower, or more about how easy it would be to consistently fire?
Yeah, your average score. Your average score is going to just drop automatically because it's proximity to hole. And your proximity to hole obviously gets a lot tighter the closer you are on your second shot or whatever shot it might be. That proximity is huge because now, and then your putting stats obviously improve the closer you are to the hole. So once you kind of add all those up, if you've got an extra 30 compared to anyone else, like whoever it is, if you gain 20 yards, you're automatically going to have a lower score.
I mean,
period.
Look at
So you're doing less work.
in the last 2 or 3 months, just with his length, shooting 61s, 58s. I mean, Dylan can hit it as far as Bryson. Like tour speed, like Bryson obviously ran it up to 220, but.
Well, if we did our shamble format with the three of us hitting tee shots with Michael and him playing it in, he would never lose a PGA Tour event. He wouldn't, because you got to remember there's an asterisk here, because it's not just saying that he has our length. We're saying that he's guaranteed to be in play at those lengths. He's maybe not. He maybe learned his lesson when he made that comment about having Rory's length, even though I tend to agree with him. He would never lose a PGA Tour event. Now, it's obviously you could say it for a lot of guys, but it would be that valuable having that much length and accuracy off the tee. Yeah. To be fair, all of us are still hitting balls out of play, so it's not like we're saying it's not like we're saying Kyle's hitting his tee shots. We're saying we all three get. Did you not hit any out of play?
No.
You did down the stretch yesterday in our second match.
I got nervous.
You suck. Anyway, do you think that you would ever lose a PGA Tour event?
Oh boy, I don't know.
Again,
if
not,
you guys, your
saying
three
level, like,
scramble every single one, I mean, my
tee.
goodness, what an advantage that is. But yeah,
The answer
I'm
yes
sure
or
I
no?
would. I would. I would lose. Yes.
Eventually
Yes.
lose one?
Yes.
Eventually.
Yes. Yes. I would.
The Masters, you'd never lose.
Oh,
We would just dominate those par fives.
And I think something I really wanted to do before we wrap this up, I wanted to give you, like, is there something you want the viewers to know about you that maybe you haven't gotten a chance to tell people, like, or to get to know you that maybe no one knows about that would help show people who you are? Or is there just something that you've wanted to say, about just in general, like, who you are, or I don't know, the biggest things that have happened for you over the last 6 months and how you are as a person in that regard?
I mean, it's just funny when I see the hate out there. It's pretty funny. I mean, I see these people. I'm like, who is that person? Like, how can this human being that doesn't even know me hate me so much? And I always like, I don't do it anymore, but I used to click on them and be like, who is this person? Like, where are they from? And it's just always been funny how they're kind of, I won't get into the details, but how similar their actual profiles are on Instagram. They're all very similar. They've never posted anything in their life. Yeah, it's like, is that what they do? It's like professionally, it's just do nothing but just throw hate at people, because I mean, you can see it's the same people that do it all the time to all types of people, and then I don't quite get it. I don't understand that thing. I could never do that to somebody.
Misery needs company.
But yeah, I mean, I saw Rory do a different podcast, and he was talking about even the situation that we had as far as what I had said. And yeah, I never in my life said I'd be #1 in the world. I would just be a heck of a lot better player if I had more length, and that's kind of like what we're going to work on later today. I'm going to be better. I don't know what I'm like around 600th in the world right now. Yeah, if we can get an extra 10 yards, I mean, I'm not going to go up in rankings. You know, I mean, I'm not going to go to 650 or 700. Yeah. I mean, I would obviously go down. Yeah. So that's the goal of it. And like what Roy said, he's made, and he was defending me. He's saying, hey, I've said a lot of things in his career where he looked back at and he wish he wouldn't have. And obviously that podcast I did, I wish I wouldn't have said what I did, because people could take it the wrong way. Yep. And they did. And so it's okay. I don't hate for that, but I appreciate Rory, you know.
Yeah, because when you're under that microscope, like, you only get one chance to say something for the first time, and if one word is out of place a little bit,
they will,
and then it gets taken by the media, you know, and you lose control of the narrative. And you know, I think we're gonna wrap things up on that note. But I just wanted to say, like, 100%, I've known him for a couple of months now, and like, it's really incredible what has happened to you in the last couple months. But like, that's a given. But what truly is amazing is like having dinner with your family and seeing how, and you can tell how you've been to people, because we can see the members come up to you. We can see how the people are around you at this course. You have not changed a bit, and that is incredible. And it is a testament to your character and your values. And I think that's why it's been so wonderful filming with you and just hanging out with you, your son, your family, in a Royal Trabuco. And like, I'm just super excited to see where your career goes from here, because you have so many huge things coming up. And like, I'm putting you, this isn't just a speed training session for today. We're going to get on a program, brother.
I love it.
I'm getting you 20 to 30 yards of distance for good.
You do that. I'm excited to go play golf with his wife.
Yeah, no kidding.
I couldn't be more excited to see where it goes. But listen, I want to thank you for coming on and, you know, for just spending time with us. It's been a true pleasure, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the film that we have today. And you know, I'm really excited to see where things go for you from here, and I'm sure we'll be doing stuff together many more times in the future.
Hey, I think everything happens for a reason. We ran into each other, obviously. You know, Bobby down at Khaled's event.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And the future's going to be cool, and I can't wait to root you guys. I can't wait to watch the World Long Drive Championship. Watching you guys, knowing you guys now, is going to be so exciting for me. And who knows, I might pop up in Atlanta and watch that.
Atlanta, baby.
I'll have my voice back.
That would be sweet, dude. I could have so much fun. I can't wait to watch you guys. Seriously, you guys are so awesome. You've been so just much fun to play with yesterday, and yeah, you guys are you're part of the Royal Trabuco and Block family now. It's cool.
Yes. Happy to be part of it, and we appreciate it, Michael. And yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, genuine human being. It's amazing to see the story of him and, you know, his background. So we really enjoy it. We hope you guys enjoyed learning more about him. I know we all certainly did. But
and we were holding hands in the cart the whole day too. He's a really good guy.
Geez.
Yeah, I was a little scared on some of the hills were a little bit treacherous. So,
but we had a good time.
But yeah, guys, we hope you found something. I'm sure there's a ton of great information in this, and really cool to listen to the man himself speak about it. And we'll see you guys for the next one.